What a pleasure it is to be back tonight for Melbourne Victory members and fans. We're off to Net Strata Jubilee Stadium as Melbourne Victory take on the Central Coast Mariners. We're back at it again. Michael Theo is with me in the chair tonight hosting. Michael, welcome back.
Thanks for having me again, Zappa. Looking forward to tonight's game.
Yeah, big thank you to our partners as well, Metricon Homes and the TAC, of course. The target there, 0 deaths. And make sure you buy a safe car as well. Help us get to our total 0 deaths and safety on the roads, Michael. It's been a pretty big few weeks for Melbourne Victory coming out of quarantine. Lots of games happening over the short period of time. We've had 3 games in 9 days. Before we get to that, a very special competition tonight because the TAC have come on board and they are going to help us out here with a $250 Adidas voucher for 2 of our viewers tonight. So get involved. Who do you think is the safest Victory player of all time? Use the hashtag MVFC. Let us know who you think over the journey has been your safest Melbourne Victory player of all time. Add a comment on the Facebook feed or on the Twitter. MVFC is the hashtag. Michael Theo was pretty safe in his day wearing the gloves. He was one of my favourites, especially in a penalty shootout. I reckon I remember back in the Victorian Premier League days, you won a penalty shootout on your own. 3 penalty saves for Bulleen against Altona. But Melbourne Victory, you won one as well in a pre-season cup.
Yeah, that's right, Zap. Over in New Zealand, we won the penalty shootout, so it was another title. So, yeah, decent record in penalties. So, yeah, very fond memories.
Who was your safest Victory player of all time?
Well, I suppose I had the best seat in the house in the 6-0 game against Adelaide City, I should say, and Archie Thompson for me. So 5 goals in the grand final. What else can you ask of the man?
Yeah, he was pretty good, Archie, wasn't he? I'm sure he's watching. If he is, g'day, Archie. And Danny Allsop was pretty safe too. That combination was sensational. I spoke about the flurry of games, Michael. 3 games in 9 days for Melbourne Victory. How are they going to manage this one tonight and perhaps a few changes to the starting 11?
Yeah, it's a big ask. Obviously, 3 games, a lot of football, and obviously coming off that COVID period where we had 4 months off. So yeah, it's a lot to ask. But in saying that, the boys are very professional. They've put in the hard yards, and Grant Brebner's going to obviously freshen up the squad. And not to mention during these quick games that are coming back and forth, that we pick up injuries, and obviously Naboo's missing for us. Andrew Naboo's missing for us tonight. So again, it's an opportunity for more players to come in and be given an opportunity to do well.
Speaking of opportunities, Aaron Anderson was given one by Grant Brebner at the restart. He's been very good, but he won't start tonight. I suppose refreshing some of the players and a young player like that, does he need that body to be refreshed?
Look, from a player's perspective, obviously he wants to play on. But I tell you what, it's fantastic man management for Grant Brebner. He's thinking, you know what, son, you've had 2 great games. You know what, enjoy yourself, freshen up, we go again. As I mentioned before, there's so many games to be played in a short period of time. He'll do well. The next game he gets, obviously, the opportunity to. So, again, great piece of man management there from Grant Brebner. And
we've seen a lot of the youngsters. We put up a board a couple of weeks ago, well, last week on all the youth that have come through, Latanzio, Jay Barnett, all been given opportunities, and they look at home.
They do, and that's what it's all about. The last 5 games of the season, we knew it was an opportunity to give the youngsters a go, and let's see what they're capable of. And I'll tell you what, they haven't let us down, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them tonight again, and hopefully rewarding that performance with a result, and getting the 3 points against Central Coast Mariners.
All right. Well, speaking of Jay Barnett, we caught up with him a little bit earlier. Here he is now, thanks to the TAC.
The road back from my injury was difficult at first. Obviously, thinking my season was over and obviously not being able to take part in the last few games, but with the COVID stuff going on, it gave me time to get back, not miss too many minutes on the pitch, but obviously it was difficult given the circumstances. Thankfully now I'm all back 100% fit and yeah, all healthy. It's been good so far in the Brebsy, especially for all the young players, just being given a new breed of confidence to go out, do what we can do, show all the fans and everyone around Australia, what we can do. And me personally, he's given me the confidence to go out there and just play my game. My role's been very clear from the outset as a midfielder, so thankfully I've done that so far, and hopefully can keep getting more minutes under Brebsy and keep playing well. There's definitely a bond, not just with the young players, I think with the whole squad in general, obviously spending so much time with everyone, in the hub brings everyone closer naturally. So especially with the young boys, you naturally gravitate closer, whether it be playing ping pong or PlayStation, that sort of thing. And then just a general hotel life, you know, around the place, always hanging out with each other and getting closer and bonding. So it's been good.
Jay Barnett, the other inclusion, another teenager. It's his 6th game for the Melbourne Victory.
I think we've shown moments, you know, that we have played some good football and have been a little bit unlucky not to get something out of the games. But obviously we're not getting results at the moment, so we do have to give that a little bit more, you know, to change our fortunes. But I'm confident if we can play the same way and build on that in these last 3 games, we can definitely get some more results, and on an individual level to keep playing consistently. That's the goal.
Yeah, Jay Barnett's been really impressive since the restart. Good luck for him tonight. Big role to play in the midfield. Time now for the TAC Match Day Review. Remember, safe cars save lives. Michael Theo is back at the big screen after his terrific performance the other night. He's been studying the game against Brisbane. What have you picked out for us, Michael? Matt Acton, unsurprisingly, the goalkeeper brigade, features first.
Yeah, spot on, Zap. It's so important, you know, both boxes, defensive and attacking, that we do our jobs. And this is evident in this clip over here we're just going to show. We're set up quite well defensively. We've got 4 players. We push out. There's 3 Melbourne Victory players closing down the attacker who's about to have a shot. He gets off a great shot, and I'll tell you what, that is a fantastic save from Matty Acton, using his top hand to get that extra elevation and to pass that ball out for a corner. And again, that would have given him so much confidence in his back line as well.
Yeah, big game for him, of course. We had the news of Lawrence Thomas leaving last week, so he has to step up, and he did on Wednesday night. What about Storm Roux? Speaking of stepping up, he's been terrific since the restart.
Yeah, he has, Zappa. I've been super impressed. Just his energy levels, again, overlapping runs, and when he gets the ball as well, more importantly, he's been making right choices. He's been a part of the play here. We see he picks up the ball, composure, just to keep the ball moving. Again, we're rotating the ball from right to left. Rojas, fantastic run again from Traore. He's got an option to get that ball across the back line of Brisbane Roar or cut it back. On this occasion, he cuts it back, and I tell you what, Storm Roux was unlucky with his left foot. He forced a magnificent save from Jamie Young, and again, we're unlucky not to get the follow-up. So it just emphasises the fact that we need bodies in the box, because anything can happen. And on that occasion, we're unlucky not to score and take the lead.
Something you picked out last week, wasn't it? Getting those extra numbers in the box. Storm Roux has never scored in consecutive games. How about that save from Jamie Young? Let's have a look at another piece from Storm Roux.
Again, Storm Roux heavily involved in all our play. Again, I spoke about decisions, good decision-making, and on this occasion, it's a fantastic decision to get the ball on the halfway line. Rojas making a forward run, play that ball over the top, the Brisbane Roar defenders, and again, Rojas here could easily chip the ball over Jamie Young or even squared it there to young Lewis. But again, it's about forward runs, making the runs and honouring the runs and spotting it to see when it's on and when it's not on. And again, Storm Roux heavily involved in everything going our way in the attacking sense as well.
Now, defensively, Grant Brebner, I'm sure, Michael, will be looking at the shape and the fact that they need to concede less. For the 4th game in a row, they conceded more than 1 goal in a game. What did you pick out from Wednesday night?
Yeah, look, we performed well defensively, I believe, overall, as a unit. Obviously, it was 0-0 going into the half. But what I liked, especially in this clip here, it just highlights the positives of playing out from the back and also going long, winning the second ball. On this occasion, Brisbane Roar have got the ball out wide. We're set up quite well here defensively. We've got 4 players back, we headed the ball, and now we keep the ball. Instead of looking forward to knock the ball long early, where players are isolated, we've got 7 Brisbane Roar players here now. So they're in our half attacking. They're trying to win the ball back. Traore, again, shows composure just to keep the ball here, keep it moving, keep it away from the Brisbane Roar players. And again, this pass here was fantastic. Lee Broxham helps it on. And again, we play out of the traffic. And the benefits there are we get to switch the play. Look at all that space up as we can now go and attack. And from that piece of play, we get a shot off as well. And we're unlucky not to score.
Something that Ange Postecoglou did a lot of, and you would have seen, Grant Brebner would have seen a lot of in his career as well. Tell us a little bit about the attacking side of things. We've touched on defence. Andrew Naboo creating the chance to win the penalty.
Yeah, he did. And I'll tell you what, his work rate is amazing. You see here in this clip here, he picks the ball up literally on the halfway line. He turns and faces forward. Again, Storm Roux's involved. Ball over the top. We've got 3 blue shirts heading in towards that box. And this deft touch, I'll tell you what, that's amazing touch here to bring it down. And he got clattered and it was a clear-cut penalty. And I love the composure to get up and say, you know what, I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it away, and send Jamie Young the wrong way.
Thanks again, Michael. Outstanding. We look forward to more analysis in our next show. But now time to hear from the head coach, thanks to TAC. Here's Grant Brebner.
Brebsy, thanks for joining us. First off, a change in the back line.
Yeah, look, Gigi Galafuco come in for Aaron Anderson. Nothing more than just giving Aaron Anderson a little bit of a break. He's come in, done really well, and I want him to enjoy that. I want him to come out the team and enjoy doing well. I don't want him to feel the responsibility of carrying the team. So he'll come out. He'll come back in at another point in this campaign, but Gigi will come in and do a job tonight.
And another change in the starting lineup in the strike force.
Yeah, Andrew rolled his ankle just in training. It was a slight one, but not enough for us to take the gamble on him playing tonight. So again, Lewis will fill the number 9 shoes tonight, and Elvis will come back in. And the good thing about that is, you know, with not playing Elvis the other night, hopefully he'll have a little bit more grit in his teeth tonight to put in a performance for us.
You mentioned performance there. You said you've been happy with the performances in the last 2 games, but not the results. How do we change that tonight?
Well, look, I'd like to obviously score the first goal tonight, Chris, but, you know, it's a fine line between winning games and losing games. And, you know, we had some really good passages of play the other night, really good, that just culminated in sort of pure execution in the final third. So with a bit of, you know, luck on our side, those go in for us tonight. But, you know, as I said, as long as we are performing, we've got a better chance of winning. So, you know, the performance will be the main indicator tonight again.
What challenges do the Mariners present?
Yeah, look, if they've been watching us, I'm sure they'll like to get the ball in the box with players like Simon. But again, in behind him, you know, Silveira, De Silva, they've got quality as well. But like I have done in the previous games, I want to focus on us. I want to make sure that we are getting on the ball, no hiding places, taking the game to them. And, you know, we have to be accountable when they have it.
All the best tonight, Bruce.
Thanks, Chris.
Time now to head to the stadium. Andy Harper is there for Fox Sports tonight. Remember, you can watch all the action on Fox and KO this evening, right after our pre-game show. Harps, thanks for joining us. Looking forward to tonight. It must be cold. You're wearing the knit. What have you make of victory since the restart?
Very good, very good. I mean, you know, they haven't had a lot to play for as far as the table position is concerned, and big names have left the club. 2 coaches, Toivonen, etc. And so with not a lot to play for, I think Grant Brebner's done a brilliant job, and we've been very excited to see some of the kids come through and get some meaningful game time. I think that's the big factor for Melbourne Victory fans, if I could be so presumptuous to say so.
And Harps, we mentioned the cold conditions there. I know Boz has been a big advocate of obviously playing our code during the winter months. What's your take on the whole thing?
Well, Mickey, certainly thoroughly enjoyed the resumption till now. I think the football has been really, really good. It's been fast, and the players have seemed to have recovered really well. Whether that's because they've had 4 months off and they've been desperate to get playing again, or whether it's purely because of the weather, it's probably more complex than that. One factor that should be considered is the quality of the playing surfaces. You'll remember, certainly, Mickey, from your time in Brisbane, how you'd get to January or February, just into the business end of the A-League season. Not that it seemed to bother that Ange Postecoglou team too much, but nevertheless, that stadium and many others like Australia would have to rip up the summer fields to prepare and sow the grass for winter sport, and our code of football seemed to suffer. What we're seeing as in this winter window now is much cooler, much friendlier temperatures for the players to run harder, faster and longer. But we're seeing it on beautiful pitches as well that are recovering, as well as the players. It's been a fantastic resumption. The football, I think, has been really good. The product, again, amidst all the doom and gloom of COVID, et cetera, has really shown its value. It's been great. It's been great stuff.
Well, we look forward to your call tonight, and we thank you for joining us, Harps.
Pleasure. See you later.
All right, Andy Harper joining us there. Don't forget all the action on Fox tonight. Now, time to take a look at the starting 11, thanks to Metricon. And here is the Metricon team lineup. A couple of changes, as we mentioned, Michael, to the Melbourne Victory starting 11. Grant Brebner bringing in Giancarlo, or as you call him, Gigi Galafuoco, against his former team, the Central Coast Mariners, alongside James Donachie there. So really solid looking back four.
It is, and obviously he's fresh. He's spoken about Anderson, giving him a little freshen up. So, yeah, he'll do a job there as an experienced player. And obviously Cam Soda comes into the equation as well on the left-hand side. Debutising for Andrew Naboo. So
what about that front three? Because it is a very different looking front three to Melbourne Victory fans have been accustomed to over the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, it is, and I'm really loving the fact that Lewis is playing in the pointy end, so he's going to be played as the out-and-out striker. So I'm looking forward to that, and obviously Cam Soda as well, the energy that he brings to this team as well. So it is an attacking lineup. Grant's spoken about good performances. Now it's about translating that into wins, and tonight's the night for that.
All right, let's have a look at Victory's opponents tonight, the Central Coast Mariners. And, geez, they've hadn't had a good record to the Mariners over the years. Without harping on it too much, another wooden spoon for them. It is their final game of the season, the Central Coast Mariners. Here is how Alan Stagic's side will line up this evening. A familiar name there, and good on him for still going. Matty Simon. He just keeps going and going and going. He's always a nuisance when he plays the Melbourne Victory. What about the last time they played? He scored a couple, both after the 90-minute mark.
Yeah, he's got a knack for scoring against the Zappa, so we're going to make sure that we keep him quiet. Obviously, you've got Tommy Orr there as well on the left-hand side, who's a very good player. They're coming off 2 draws to Zappa, so it's their last game for them for the season. They want to finish on a high note, so we have to make sure that we really, really match them for tempo, and from there, hopefully, our football will do the talking. But it's a decent lineup. Again, there's threats there that we're going to have to obviously look after. But in saying that, it's about us, and I love the fact that Grant Brebner said, we'll show respect to the opposition, but more importantly, it's about us and what we can do as a team.
All right, we've loved seeing some of the Victory youngsters come through over the last few weeks since the restart. So Nishikawa has been one of them who we've seen come off the bench. We reckon he might get a run tonight at left back, perhaps in the second half. And I really enjoyed seeing him come on. He was great last time, wasn't he?
He has, and he's done well. He seems very composed. He's just rapt to be a part of this environment and be given the opportunity. So I'm sure he'll do really well. Hopefully he does get an opportunity. We spoke about the games coming in short succession, and Traore has done a fantastic job on the left since the resumption of the A-League. But it'll be a great opportunity for him, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him tonight. All
right, our crew caught up with him during the week. Let's find out a little bit more about So Nishikawa, thanks to TAC.
I'm So Nishikawa, and I play left back at Melbourne Victory Football Club. I joined Melbourne Victory in late 2017. I started as a youth player in the Melbourne Victory Youth Academy, and then got the call off for the first team. I play left back. I would describe myself as an attacking defender, making those overlap runs and joining the attack. Adama Traore has helped me a lot. He's in my position as well, so he's given me advice on just be composed on the ball, and just always believe in myself as well. Especially at a young age, you might get nervous, so it's important to just stay relaxed and just play your game. As a youngster, you always want to be in a first team environment, and so being able to travel with the first team is just amazing, and it's a dream come true, because I'm just doing what a professional footballer does every day, and yeah, it's been amazing.
Seems like a really level-headed kid, doesn't he, Michael? And having Adama Traore play in that role, he's got first dibs on that role, Adama Traore, for what he's done over the years. But what about the role that Traore plays in helping a player like Nishikawa to learn as a youngster?
It's so important for his development, and to have someone of Traore's calibre at the club, and even his story. Obviously, he had a spell with Melbourne Victory previously, did fantastically well, went overseas and sustained had a knee reconstruction, came back, and just his work ethic. And as I mentioned earlier, since the resumption, he's been fantastic. Our 2 fullbacks have really, really contributed to the team defensively and going forward. So for him, he's a fantastic player to look up to, learn from, and then hopefully when he's given the opportunity, he'll take it with both hands.
Good to see Nishikawa recently becoming an Australian citizen. He featured in the Unite ceremony earlier this year. So obviously great to see him there, and I'm sure we'll see plenty more of him in Melbourne Victory colours over the year. Now, just a reminder on our competition tonight, your opportunity to win $250 thanks to Adidas and the TAC, who are supporting the prize tonight. Who is your safest Victory player of all time? Comment on the Facebook feed or use the hashtag MVFC. The other one we didn't mention, Michael, was Kevin Muscat, the former Melbourne Victory coach. Of course, he was the captain when you were playing early on. What about his record from the penalty spot? That wasn't bad. It was pretty safe.
It was pretty safe. Safe as houses. I won't mention the grand final, though, Zappa. Muskie will kill me, but he was. He was such a reliable player. And we've been blessed at this club to have not just reliable players, but fantastic characters on and off the pitch. So, yep, get tweeting or contact us. I know Adrian Lay is looking forward to giving out that voucher. Might have to be online though, Zappa. Obviously, us Victorians are doing it tough at the minute, so online.
Yeah, very good point. And a big cheerio and to all our viewers, Melbourne Victory fans and members watching, especially those in Victoria, doing it tough at the moment. We hope we can provide you with a little bit of entertainment over the next few weeks as Melbourne Victory round off their season. Time to continue our TAC match preview, Michael. And we take a bit of a deep dive into some of the key issues for tonight and have a look at some of the comments that Grant Brebner made in his press conference during the week and after the game on Wednesday night against the Brisbane Roux. He spoke a little bit about the system they're trying to play and how the players are going to be adapting to that. What have you made of it?
Look, I think they've adapted quite well. Grant, with his messaging, he's been pretty clear. He's got certain standards. He wants to play a certain way, and he's come out and said, we want to get to the front three as quick as possible. We know we've got pace, and also we want to keep the ball, let the opposition chase. But in saying that, there's certain jobs that come with that defensively, but attackingly, we want the players to express themselves. And the messaging has been on point, and the players, even from the players listening to their interviews, you know they're on song with the coach when they're pretty much saying what the coach is saying. So, yeah, he's been fantastic. Speaking to a couple of the guys as well, in terms of his man management, they can't speak highly of Grant. So he's done extremely well, and I'm really, really thankful that he's been given the opportunity and he's really grasped it.
He did speak in that interview earlier tonight in our show about, playing some great football, but results not going our way. How much does that play on a player's mind when you know you're doing some good things, but there are still some gaps to fill?
And I'll tell you what, winning breeds that confidence. And, we're all human. We know if we don't get the results, we sort of slump a little bit. But I'll tell you what, he's done well to really keep the energy levels there. And again, these players are playing for their Melbourne Victory futures. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is an opportunity. It's the biggest club in the country. You've got to take it. And, if you want to be part of this moving forward, this is your opportunity. So Grant's done particularly well. I know the players have embraced it, and it's just got to continue. And those performances that we spoke about, they've been great, but then when we get to that final third, we're going to make those chances into goals, and that's the next step and the progression of the team to get the results that we need.
And is that just, you talk about confidence, the final third and finishing, we've seen it with different teams over the years, that sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. Do you go back and do a bit more work in training just on finishing?
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, definitely. I know in teams that I've played in the past, if certain things don't go our way, you obviously tend to work on them. And, I'm sure the players are no different as well. They're in a hub as well. They've got plenty of time. So they will have opportunities to work on these. And again, it's about continually improving individually and as a team. And let's think about this team. It's quite young too, Zappo. We've got a bit of experience there, and it's a lot of young boys playing. It's an opportunity for them as well. So, yeah, from that perspective, again, it's just, enjoy it. You're good enough. That's why you're here. Show us and show the fans, and be proud to be a Melbourne Victory player.
Well, one of those players who might get a chance to finish tonight, he certainly should be in the attacking half of the field, is Lewis Laurie Latanzio. He had a terrific opportunity in his last game, and this save that he forced from Philip Curto in the Western United game was fantastic, but he was also pretty busy in that game against the Brisbane Roux.
He is, and he's such a player. He's got plenty of pace, who doesn't mind tracking back as well, Zappa. That's what I was impressed with him. Going forward, though, he's a smart player. He runs at defenders, and ask any defender, that's the one thing they hate, a player with pace that constantly runs at him. And on this opportunity here, he gets an early ball in with a cross. And the good thing I liked as well, he went from the left to the right-hand side. He sort of had that licence to roam. And as we mentioned before, he's not scared to shoot. Here, on this occasion, he's getting the ball deep, running at players. So for me, he's definitely one for the future. I'm really glad that he's playing in that number 9 position today, because as I mentioned before, if he gets a shot off on goal, there's a good chance it's going in. So, he's one for the future, definitely, and I love his work rate and that energy that he brings to the team.
All right, Lee Broxham is just as important to this side as he ever has been. We speak about so much youth involved. He's taken another leadership role. He's been a leader, you'd think, for the last 5 years at the club as he's grown in maturity. But just over this last period with the hub and everything else that's been happening, his role, I suppose, has been highlighted as a real senior member of this squad. Yeah,
it sure has. And I'll tell you what, he's been at the club pretty much since day one, Zappa. Yeah. It's been highlighted. Initially, he was our gear steward to train with us, and then once he got involved with the team, he has never looked back, and his leadership qualities are second to none. Obviously, there was a big hole when Kevin Muscat retired, but Lee Broxham's really stepped up. And especially in this young group, you need leaders like Lee. And I love his work rate. And obviously, he's Mr. Fixer. He can play as a defensive midfielder or he can play as a centre-back as well. But he's always positive. He's a good passer of the ball. He's always looking to go forward. And not just that, communicating. He's screening that back four zapper. So it's important that defensively we're tight and it starts for him. And I love the fact that because he sits deeper, that allows Jay Barnett to then push on and be that further advanced number 6. So he's super important. His work rate, second to none, and he's been a great player for Melbourne Victory.
What's he like communicating on the pitch? You spoke about his communication, screening the back four, but he doesn't strike me, and I've known him for a long time, but as the loudest or overt type of personality. What about on the pitch?
It's called white line fever, Zap,
yeah.
And you know what? He might be a quiet person off the field, but once you cross that line, we're mates out there, but we've got a job to get done. And he won't sugarcoat things. He'll tell you if you're not doing your job, where you have to be positioned. And that's the other thing as well. As a leader, you're obviously got to lead by example, and you've got to be vocal out there. These young boys, they're just coming in for their first, second game. There's not much in terms of expectations in that department for them. They've got to worry about their performance, whereas Lee Broxham has to worry about his performance and also his teammates around him. So the pressure is on Lee, but in saying that as well, he's been around the club from pretty much day one. He's a natural leader in terms of what he does on the field. Mind you, he's got triplets at home too, Zab, so he's got plenty to work off the pitch, and then on the pitch, he's sorting out the younger brigade as well.
Yeah, some great insight into Melbourne Victory's veteran now, Lee Broxham. Let's hear from Storm Roux now. Thanks to TAC, Safe Cars, Safe Lives. We caught up with him a little bit earlier.
Storm, thanks for joining us up against your former side, the Mariners, tonight. Strange feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played against them this season. Obviously, last season it was a bit strange going up against them. You know, I was there for a long time. But now looking forward to it. Always good to play against a former team and, you know, some familiar faces.
You've been in a much more advanced role as a fullback in these last few games. How have you been enjoying that experience?
Yeah, I think that's, you know, a main part of my game is getting forward, and under Brebner, you know, me and Adama and whoever's playing fullback have that freedom to, you know, get forward and add something to the attack. So yeah, I've been loving it these last 2 games, and I felt like my performances have been showing that.
Very young squad around you. You're one of the more senior players now. How have you been taking on that role?
Yeah, it's good, you know, stepping into that leadership role as, like you said, one of the more senior players, one of the older players, and you know, the young boys coming through, it's good to sort of put your arm around them and help them through it, because we've all been there before, and yeah, they've been great. They've been playing really good and, you know, making themselves proud.
Brebsy said that he's been happy with the performances in the last 2 games, but obviously not the results. How do we change that tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to make sure we don't get, you know, happy to lose and play well. You know, we need to change around and get that winning mentality, and the performances have been there. We have been playing really well. But yeah, it's just, you know, lapse in concentration that's cost us a bit, and we need to get back to winning ways.
All the best tonight, sir.
Great to hear from Storm Roux there. Michael, before we go, we've had a great feedback from our viewers tonight on our big competition, $250 thanks to the TAC and to Adidas. Now, on our Facebook feed, our winner is Stephen R. Smith. He says Super Kev is the one that he loved watching, and he reckons he was the safest player of all time, as you said, from the penalty spot. And then on Twitter, congratulations to Richard. He reckons Lee Broxham as safe as a Mitricon home. I'm sure the crew at Mitricon will love to hear that. So congratulations to Richard and to Stephen, winners of the $250 Adidas voucher. We thank you for watching tonight. Michael, before we let you go, a tip, how do you see tonight playing out?
Yeah, I'm going to go Melbourne Victory win. As I said, the performances have been good. Now we just have to follow up with the result. So really looking forward to tonight, and Lewis to get on that score sheet for me.
Lewis, Triple L. We've got to find a nickname for him before the season is out. Thank you again for watching. Stay safe, stay home, and we look forward to bringing you more Melbourne Victory TV in the coming weeks. Saturday night's our next one. Of course, Melbourne Victory taking on Saturday night the Perth Glory. But tonight, it's all happening on Fox Sports against the Central Coast Mariners. How's this for a good omen? Melbourne Victory have scored in every one of the last 18 games played against the Central Coast Mariners. He's hoping for more of that tonight. From me, Michael Zappone, Michael Theo, and all the crew at Victory TV, thanks for watching, and good luck to Victory tonight.